The alien assassin spent days hunting him, but she awoke to human kindness. Kira moved through the trees like a shadow. Her silver skin caught the moonlight in soft ripples, but she stayed low, quiet, unseen. For 3 days she had tracked him across rocky ridges and muddy creeks. He was human, slow, fragile, yet he kept slipping away. Her mission was simple: find Dr. Luke Bennett and silence him before he exposed the Xanthari Empire's secret mining beneath Earth's crust. She had never failed before. She would not fail now. Her violet eyes scanned the forest floor. Broken twigs, damp footprints, the scent of sweat and fear. He was close. Her plasma dagger hummed in her hand, ready. She followed the trail until she saw a flicker of orange through the pines. A campfire. Her muscles coiled. This was it. But when she stepped into the clearing, she froze. Luke was not cowering or praying. He knelt beside a small red fox, its leg twisted at a wrong angle. With careful hands, he wrapped a strip of cloth around the injury, whispering soft words. "Easy now," he said. "You're safe." Kira stepped forward, dagger raised. "Do not move." Luke turned slowly. His eyes met hers, wide but calm. He did not flinch. "You're bleeding," he said, nodding at her left arm. She glanced down. A shallow cut from a fall the night before. She had ignored it. Pain meant nothing. Yet here he was, noticing it like it mattered. "Why do you care?" she asked, voice sharp. "Because it's there," he said simply. "And because you haven't killed me yet." She hesitated. Every rule of her training screamed to strike, but something in his stillness held her back. She lowered her weapon just enough. Luke reached into his pack and pulled out a clean cloth and a small bottle. "Let me help," he said. "Humans lie," she warned. "Some do," he agreed. "But right now I'm just a man with a first aid kit." Against all reason, she sat. He cleaned her wound with gentle hands. His touch was warm, unfamiliar. Among her people, touch was for combat or command, never comfort. She watched his face, tired, stubbled, but kind. This was not the enemy she had been told about. "You're not what I expected," she admitted. "And you're not what I expected either," he said with a small smile. "I thought Xanthari assassins were heartless." "We are efficient," she corrected. "Still," he said, tying off the bandage, "you could have killed me hours ago." "Why didn't you?" She looked into the fire. "I do not know." They sat in silence. The fox curled near Luke's boots, breathing softly. Kira studied him. His file said he was a scientist who worked alone at a remote observatory. He had detected strange energy signatures under the Arctic ice. Dug deeper. Found proof of alien drilling. Tried to warn the world. No one listened. Then the assassins came. "Why did you run?" she asked. "Because I wanted to live," he said. "But also because someone needed to know the truth. Even if it's just you." "The truth changes nothing," she said. "My empire is vast. Your world is small." "Maybe," he said, "but truth matters. Even if it doesn't win." Those words settled in her chest like a stone. She had never questioned her orders. Loyalty was everything. Yet here was a human, weak, hunted, who still chose to care for a wounded animal and an enemy. That night she did not sleep. She watched Luke as he dozed by the fire. She thought of her homeworld. Cold towers, endless drills, obedience above all. She remembered her brother Torin, who once asked why they took from others instead of building their own. He was gone now, punished for doubt. By dawn, she made her choice. She woke Luke gently. "We must move." "Why?" he asked, rubbing his eyes. "Because they will send more," she said, "and I will not let them find you." His eyes widened. "You're protecting me?" "For now," she said. "Until you can get your message out." They traveled together through dense woods and quiet valleys. She taught him how to move without sound, how to read the wind for danger. He taught her how to read paper maps, how to start a fire with flint and steel. She ate his dried apples. He tried her nutrient paste and made a face that made her almost laugh. One evening, as they rested by a quiet lake, Luke asked, "What will you do after this?" "I do not know," she admitted. "I cannot return. Not after this." "Then stay here," he said. "With us." "Humans fear what they do not understand," she said. "Some do," he agreed. "But others learn, they grow, they change." She looked at him, really looked, and saw not a target but a person. Steady, kind, brave in a quiet way. Weeks later, hidden in a safe house in Montana, Luke connected to the internet through a shielded line. He uploaded everything: data, images, logs, sending it to news outlets, scientists, governments. Within hours, the story exploded. Protests began. Leaders demanded answers. The Xanthari operation was exposed. Kira watched the news on a small screen. Her silver hair was now short, her clothes human, jeans, a sweater, boots. She looked almost like them. Luke handed her a cup of tea. "What now?" "Now," she said, sipping the warm drink, "I learn what it means to be kind." He smiled. "Welcome to Earth, Kira." For the first time, she felt something new. Not duty, not fear, hope, fragile like a flame in the wind, but real. They sat as the sun set, painting the sky in gold and pink. Far away, the Empire would retaliate. But here, in this quiet place, two souls had found something stronger than weapons. Trust. Kira no longer saw the stars as points of conquest. She saw them as guides. And for the first time, she walked not as an assassin, but as someone who chose to protect, not with a blade, but with care. The alien assassin spent days hunting him, but she awoke to human kindness. Spring came slowly to the mountains. Snow melted into streams. Green shoots pushed through the earth. Birds returned singing in the trees. Inside the bunker, life settled into a quiet rhythm. Torin helped Luke build a solar array on the roof. Lily painted murals that told their story. Kira's arrival. The fox, the fire, the fight, the reunion. Dr. Evans taught Torin how to brew coffee, which he declared strangely bitter but oddly comforting. Kira watched them all, her heart full in a way she could not name. She still trained each morning, still checked the perimeter, still listened for danger. But now her hands also learned to knead bread, to stitch torn clothes, to hold Lily's hand when nightmares came. She was no longer just a warrior. She was becoming something new. One afternoon, a weak radio signal broke through the static. It was not from Earth. It was coded in old Xanthari emergency frequency. Torin recognized it first. "It's from the outer colonies," he said, eyes wide. "They're rebelling." They gathered around the receiver. The message was short, desperate. "The Empire weakens, we rise. If you hear this, know you are not alone. Send word. Send hope." Kira felt a spark ignite in her chest. "They need us. How can we help?" Luke asked. "We're hidden. Cut off. We send the truth," Torin said. "Not just about Earth, about us. About what the Empire really does." They worked for days. Luke and Torin combined human encryption with Xanthari data streams. Lily recorded messages. Her voice, Luke's, even Kira's halting but honest words. Dr. Evans added scientific proof of the Empire's environmental damage. They bundled it all into a tight, powerful signal and aimed it at the outer rim. When they sent it, no one spoke. They just held their breath. 2 weeks later, a reply came. Not one message, but dozens. From miners, pilots, medics, even low-rank soldiers. "We hear you. We believe you. We are with you." Kira read each one aloud by lamplight. Her voice did not shake, but her hands did. Then came the hardest message. It was from a young Xanthari girl, no older than 10 cycles. "My father was taken for asking questions. I hide his books. I will not forget. Thank you for remembering us." Kira folded the printout gently and placed it in a small box she kept under her cot. It joined the wooden fox, a pressed wildflower Lily gave her, and a photo of the 4 of them standing in the sun. But peace never lasted. One morning, Luke found strange readings on his satellite monitor. "Ships," he said. "Not Xanthari, human," Kira frowned. "Which faction?" "Black Star," Luke said grimly. "A rogue military group that wanted alien tech at any cost. They had been hunting Xanthari survivors for months, capturing them, experimenting on them. They tracked our signal," Torin said. "We have to move," Kira said. "Not yet," Luke said. "I have an idea." He explained his plan. Risky, bold, but possible. They would fake a signal leak, make it seem like the bunker was abandoned. Then they would lure Black Star into a trap using the old mining tunnels beneath the hills, tunnels Luke had mapped during his early research days. Kira studied the maps. It could work, but someone must act as bait. "I'll do it," Luke said. "No," Kira said firmly. "I will, Kira. I am the one they want," she said. "My biology, my tech. They will follow me, not a human." Luke looked at her, fear and pride in his eyes. "You'll come back, right?" "I always come back," she said. They prepared through the night. Kira wore a tracker disguised as a bracelet. Luke and Torin wired the tunnels with sonic emitters, devices that could disorient without killing. Lily packed emergency supplies. Dr. Evans checked Kira's vitals one last time. At dawn, Kira walked out alone. She moved through the forest, leaving clear signs, broken branches, footprints, a dropped glove. She knew Blackstar watched from orbit. She made sure they saw her. By midday, she heard the hum of a dropship. It landed in a clearing half a mile east. 6 soldiers emerged, clad in black armor, weapons ready. Their leader, a tall woman with cold eyes, spoke through a voice modulator. "Kira of the Zinthari, surrender, you will not be harmed." Kira stood tall. "I know your kind. You do not take prisoners. You take parts." The woman raised her rifle. "Last chance." Kira turned and ran. They chased her into the hills just as planned. She led them through narrow passes, over icy streams, deeper into the maze of old tunnels. The soldiers followed, confident, arrogant. They did not see the wires, did not hear the emitters powering up. When Kira reached the central chamber, she triggered the signal. A low hum filled the air. The soldiers clutched their heads, disoriented. Their weapons clattered to the ground. Luke and Torin emerged from hidden vents, zip-tying the stunned soldiers before they could recover. It was over in minutes. Back at the bunker, they secured the prisoners and contacted the nearest international peacekeeping unit. Blackstar would face justice, not revenge. That night, they sat around the fire outside. The sky was clear. Stars glittered like scattered diamonds. "You were amazing," Lily said to Kira. "We all were," Kira replied. Torin looked at his sister. "You used to hunt humans. Now you protect them." "I protect what matters," she said. "It does not matter if it walks on 2 legs or 4, has silver skin or brown. If it feels, if it hopes, it deserves to live." Luke handed her a cup of tea. "You've changed the world, you know." "No," she said softly. "You changed me, and that changed everything." Weeks later, a new message arrived, not from rebels, not from enemies, but from Earth's United Council. They invited Kira, Torin, Luke, and Lily to speak at a global summit. Not as fugitives. As allies, they accepted. The day they left the bunker, Kira paused at the door. She touched the wooden fox in her pocket. She looked at the murals, the stove, the worn couch where Torin napped in the afternoons. This place had been their shelter, their sanctuary. "Ready?" Luke asked. She nodded. Ready. The journey to Geneva was long. Cities amazed her, so loud, so bright, so full of people rushing in every direction. Yet in parks, she saw mothers with children. In cafes, friends laughing. In hospitals, doctors working through the night. The same kindness she found in the woods was here too, hidden in plain sight. At the summit, Kira stood before leaders from every nation. She did not wear armor. She wore simple clothes. She spoke without notes. "I came to your world to kill," she began, "but a human showed me a wounded fox. He helped it. Then he helped me. In that moment I learned that strength is not in taking life, but in giving care. Your world is not perfect, but it chooses kindness again and again. That is worth protecting, not just by me, but by all of you." Silence followed, then applause. Not loud at first, but growing until the room shook with it. Afterward, a young girl approached her. Human, maybe 10 years old. She held out a drawing, a silver woman with violet eyes holding a fox and standing beside a man with kind eyes. "For you," the girl whispered. Kira took it gently. "Thank you." That night in their hotel room, Torin asked, "What now?" "Now," Kira said, looking out the window at the city lights. "We keep showing them that kindness is not weakness. It is the bravest thing there is." Luke joined her at the window. "You know, you could stay here. Build a life. I already have," she said, and she meant it. She had a family, a purpose, a home, not in stone or metal, but in the hearts of those who chose to care. Far above, the stars watched. And for the first time, Kira did not see them as distant rulers or cold judges. She saw them as witnesses. To pain, yes, but also to hope. To fear, but also to courage. To endings, but also to new beginnings. She had been sent to silence a truth. Instead, she became its voice, and that was enough. The alien assassin spent days hunting him, but she awoke to human kindness. The warning hung in the air like frost. The silent blade was coming. Kira knew what that meant. Among the Zenthari, the silent blade was not just a title, it was a myth made flesh. No one had ever seen its face and lived to describe it. It moved through shadows like breath, left no tracks, made no sound, and always completed its mission. If it was sent, the target was already dead in the eyes of the Empire. Kira gathered everyone in the bunker's main room. Luke, Lily, and Dr. Evans listened as she explained what they faced. "It will not come with ships or soldiers," she said. It will come alone, quiet, patient. It may already be near. Luke's jaw tightened. What do we do? We prepare, Kira said. Not to fight it head on, but to outthink it. She studied the bunker's layout. It had one main entrance, 2 ventilation shafts, and an old emergency tunnel that led to a dry creek bed half a mile north. She sealed the vents with metal plates and wired the tunnel with motion sensors made from spare parts Luke had stored. She taught Lily and Dr. Evans how to stay silent, how to move without making noise, how to hide their heat signatures under thermal blankets. Why are you doing all this? Lily asked one evening as Kira checked the perimeter. Because you are worth protecting, Kira said simply. Lily smiled. You really have changed. Not changed, Kira replied. Awakened. Days passed with no sign of the blade. Tension grew like a slow fever. Every creak of the wind, every rustle in the trees made hearts race. Kira barely slept. She stood watch through the long nights, her violet eyes scanning the snow-covered hills. Then on the 7th night, the sensors went off. Not at the tunnel, not at the vents, but at the main gate. A single light blinked red. Someone had tripped the wire. Kira moved fast. Stay inside, she told the others. Lock the inner door. Do not open it for anyone. She slipped out into the cold. Snow fell in soft flakes. The forest was still. Too still. No owls, no wind. Even the trees seemed to hold their breath. She crouched behind a boulder, dagger in hand. Minutes passed. Then a shadow detached itself from the tree line. Tall. Lean. Cloaked in black fabric that seemed to swallow the light. It moved without sound. Each step precise, deliberate. The silent blade. Kira's pulse did not race. It steadied. This was her moment. Not as an assassin, but as a guardian. She stepped into the open. You will not pass. The figure stopped. It tilted its head slightly. Then in perfect Xanthari it spoke. Kira of the 7th cohort. You have betrayed your oath. The voice was smooth, genderless, cold as ice. I have chosen a new path, Kira said. Paths end in death, the blade replied. Yours will be slow, it lunged. Faster than thought. Kira barely dodged, rolling to the side as a thin, needle-like weapon sliced the air where her neck had been. She countered with her dagger. But the blade parried with impossible grace. Their weapons sparked in the dark. They fought in silence, a dance of death under the falling snow. Kira was strong, trained, but the blade was something else, fluid, relentless, reading her moves before she made them. It knew her style, her weaknesses, because it had trained her. Suddenly, Kira recognized the stance, the angle of the wrist, the way it shifted weight. Torin, she whispered. The blade froze for half a second. Just enough. You live, Kira said, voice breaking. I was remade, Torin said, lowering its hood. His face was the same, but his eyes were hollow, glowing faint red instead of violet. Scars traced his temples, neural implants. The Empire had taken her brother, broken him, rebuilt him into their perfect weapon. They told me you died in the Ice Wars, Kira said. I wished I had, he said, but they saved me. To serve. You don't have to do this, she pleaded. I have no choice, he said. The implants. They control me. Unless the core is destroyed. Kira's heart ached. Her brother was still in there fighting. Then I will free you, she said. Torin shook his head. You cannot win. I do not need to win, she said. I just need to reach you. She dropped her dagger. Torin hesitated. What are you doing? Showing you what I learned, she said. That kindness is stronger than control. She walked toward him, hands open. Remember Mother's song? The one she sang when the storms came? Torin's hand trembled. You remember that? I remember everything, she said. Your laugh, your questions, your courage. They did not erase you. They buried you. But you are still there. Tears welled in his red eyes. Kira, run, before I lose myself again. Not without you, she said. At that moment, a soft light appeared behind her. Luke stood at the bunker door holding a lantern. Lily and Dr. Evans were with him. They did not speak. They just stood there offering silent support. Torin stared at them. Humans helping an alien? They helped me, Kira said. Now they help you. Something in Torin cracked. He fell to his knees, clutching his head. The signal. It's fighting me, but I can feel it. The song? Kira knelt beside him. Hold on, brother. Just hold on. Luke stepped forward slowly. We can remove the implants. I've studied Xanthari tech. It's risky but possible. Torin looked up, hope flickering in his eyes. Why would you help me? Because Kira believes in you, Luke said. And that's enough for me. They brought Torin inside. The bunker became a makeshift operating room. Luke worked for hours, guided by Kira's knowledge and Dr. Evans's steady hands. Lily kept watch, her paintings now covering the walls like shields of color and light. When it was over, Torin lay still. His eyes were violet again. He woke slowly. It's quiet, he whispered. In my head. So quiet, Kira held his hand. You're free. Days turned into weeks. Torin healed. He spoke little at first, but slowly his old self returned. The thinker, the questioner, the dreamer. He helped Luke strengthen the broadcast signal. He taught Kira new ways to sense danger without violence. One night, as they sat by the stove, Torin asked, "What happens now?" "We keep fighting," Luke said. "Not with weapons, with truth." "And if the Empire sends more?" Kira asked. "Then we show them what Earth truly is," Lily said. "Not a resource to steal, but a home to share." Torin looked at his sister. "You found something I thought impossible. Kindness?" she asked. "Hope," he said. The next broadcast went out stronger than ever. This time it included Torin's testimony, proof that the Empire did not just mine planets but enslaved its own people. The message spread like wildfire. Protests grew. Nations united. Even some Xanthari defectors reached out in secret, seeking asylum. Kira stood on the hill above the bunker one evening watching the stars. Luke joined her. "Do you miss your home?" he asked. "I have a new one," she said. He smiled. "You know you could live a normal life here. No more running. No more fighting." "As long as there are those who need protecting," she said, "I will not stop." But her voice was softer now. Gentler. Inside, Lily painted a new mural. 3 figures under a starry sky, one silver, one human, one healing. Dr. Evans read aloud from a book of poetry. Torin listened, eyes closed, finally at peace. The Empire still loomed in the distance. Danger had not vanished. But in this quiet corner of Earth, something rare had taken root. Not fear, not power, but trust Kira had come to kill. Instead, she learned to care. And in that choice, she found not just a new purpose, but a new self. The wind carried the scent of pine and snow. Somewhere far away, a wolf howled. And for the first time in her life, Kira felt she belonged. Not as a weapon, not as an alien, but as someone who chose kindness, again and again, even when the universe demanded cruelty. That was her victory. Not in battle, but in heart. And it was enough. The alien assassin spent days hunting him, but she awoke to human kindness. Weeks passed after the truth went public. The world buzzed with fear and wonder. Governments scrambled. Scientists demanded proof. Conspiracy theorists shouted louder than ever. But Luke's data held. Satellite images matched his findings. Seismic records confirmed unnatural drilling deep beneath the ice. The Xanthari were real, and they had been stealing from Earth for years. Kira stayed hidden with Luke in the Montana safe house. It was small, warm, and filled with books. She read them slowly, one by one. She learned about human history, art, music, and even cooking. Luke showed her how to make soup. She burned the first batch. He laughed, not at her, but with her. That laugh made something inside her loosen like a knot she did not know was there. But peace never lasted long. One evening, as snow fell softly outside, Luke's radio crackled. A coded message from an old friend in Denver. "They're coming," the voice said. "Not just Xanthari. Human groups too. Some want to hand you over. Others want to use your tech." Kira's hand went to her dagger. "We must leave," Luke nodded. "There's a place in Wyoming. An old research bunker, off the grid. My sister Lily knows the code." They packed quickly. Kira took only what she needed. Her dagger, a thermal blanket, and the small wooden fox Luke had carved for her during a quiet afternoon. She did not understand why he gave it to her, but she kept it close. They traveled by night, sticking to back roads and empty trails. Kira's senses stayed sharp. She heard engines long before Luke did. She smelled smoke from distant fires. Once she spotted a drone hovering too low over the trees. She pulled Luke into a ditch just as it passed overhead, its red eye scanning the ground. "They're using human tech now," Luke whispered. "They adapt," she said. "So must we." 3 nights later, they reached the bunker. It was buried under a hill covered in brush and snow. Luke entered the code. The heavy door hissed open. Inside, it was cold but dry. Shelves lined the walls with food, water, and medical supplies. A small generator hummed in the corner. Kira checked every room. No traps, no trackers. Safe. For now. The next morning, Luke tried to contact Lily. No answer, he tried again. Still nothing. Worry creased his face. She always answers, he said. Kira watched him pace. Your sister is in danger. I know, he said quietly. She made a decision then. I will go to Denver, find her. Bring her here. You can't, Luke said. It's too risky. They're watching every road, every signal. I am not human, she said. They do not expect me to walk among them. He looked at her, fear and gratitude in his eyes. You'd do that? You showed me kindness, she said. Now I protect your family. She left that night. Dressed in dark clothes, her silver skin covered with a thin layer of human makeup Luke had found. She boarded a freight train heading east. She moved like a ghost through the cars, unseen. Denver was louder than she remembered. Lights, noise, crowds. She kept her head down, her senses alert. She found Lily's apartment building near the university. The front door was broken. Glass littered the lobby. Kira moved up the stairs silently. Lily's door was ajar. Inside, the place was ransacked. Paintings torn from walls. Books scattered. But no blood, no body. That was good. On the kitchen counter, she found a note tucked under a coffee mug. If you're reading this, Luke, I'm with Dr. Evans, safe. Come to the old library. Basement. Code. Solstice. Kira memorized the words and burned the note. Dr. Evans was Luke's former mentor, a quiet man who hated politics. If anyone could hide Lily, it was him. The public library stood at the edge of downtown, closed for renovations. Kira slipped through a broken window in the back. The basement was dark, damp, and quiet. She moved like water through the stacks until she heard voices. They'll find us eventually, Lily said. Her voice trembled but held strength. Not if we stay smart, an older man replied. Dr. Evans, Kira stepped into the light. Both humans jumped. Lily gasped. Who? I am Kira, she said. Luke sent me. Lily stared. You're the alien. Yes, Kira said. And I am here to take you to him. Dr. Evans narrowed his eyes. How do we know you're not leading us into a trap? Kira reached into her pocket and pulled out the wooden fox. He gave me this. He said it was carved from a tree near his childhood home. Only he and Lily know that tree. Lily's eyes filled with tears. The old oak by the creek, Kira nodded. We must leave now. They are close. They moved through service tunnels beneath the city. Dr. Evans knew them well. He led them to an old subway entrance long forgotten. At the end of the tunnel, a rusted door opened to a storage garage. An old van waited inside. Kira drove. Lily sat in the back, clutching a small bag. Dr. Evans navigated. They avoided main roads, sticking to farm paths and forest trails. Halfway to Wyoming, the van sputtered. The engine died. Out of fuel, Dr. Evans said. Kira scanned the area. A farmhouse stood half a mile away. Lights on, smoke from the chimney. We ask for help, she said. Are you sure? Lily asked. What if they turn us in? Not all humans betray each other, Kira said. They approached the house. An older woman opened the door, shotgun in hand. But when she saw Lily's face, pale, scared, tired, she lowered the weapon. Come in, she said. You look like you've walked through hell. Inside, the woman gave them hot soup and dry blankets. Her name was Marge. She lived alone since her husband passed. She did not ask questions, just offered kindness. Kira watched her. This was the second time a human had helped without knowing why. She thought of Luke by the fire. The fox, the soup he burned, the way he smiled when she tried to say thank you in English. Why do you help us? Kira asked Marge. Marge stirred her tea. Because once someone helped me when I had nowhere to go. Kindness is a chain. You pass it on. Kira understood then. This was not weakness. It was strength. A different kind, one her people had forgotten. They stayed the night. Marge gave them fuel from her tractor. At dawn, they left with full hearts and a full tank. 2 days later, they reached the bunker. Luke ran out as the van pulled up. He hugged Lily so tight she laughed through tears. He turned to Kira. You brought her back. She was never lost, Kira said. Inside, they shared food and stories. Lily showed Kira her paintings. Vibrant sunsets, wild horses, starry skies. I paint what gives me hope, she said. Kira touched one canvas. It is beautiful. That night, as snow fell again, Kira stood outside alone. The stars were bright. She thought of her home world, of Torin, of the Empire's cold logic. She had been taught that emotion was a flaw. But here among these humans she saw that feeling deeply was not weakness. It was what made them fight, protect, and care. Luke joined her. "You okay?" "I am learning," she said. "Learning what?" "That kindness is not rare," she said. "It is everywhere. You just have to look for it," he smiled. "You're starting to sound like a human." "Maybe," she said. "Or maybe humans are starting to make sense." Days turned into weeks. Luke and Dr. Evans worked on a new broadcast, stronger, harder to block. Lily painted murals on the bunker walls. Kira trained. Not to kill but to defend. She practiced with human weapons, studied their tactics. She would not let anyone hurt this family. One morning a signal came through. A message from an unknown source. It was short. "The Empire sends the Silent Blade. Beware." Kira went still. The Silent Blade was not just an assassin. It was a legend. A warrior who left no trace. Who killed without sound. Who had never been seen and never failed. "It's coming for you," she told Luke. "Then we face it together," he said. Kira looked at him. At Lily. At Dr. Evans. At the warm light of the bunker. She had once come to Earth to end a life. Now she would give her life to protect theirs. Because kindness had changed her. And that was the most human thing of all. The alien assassin spent days hunting him. But she awoke to human kindness. Months passed since the summit. Kira's words had spread far beyond Geneva. Schools taught her story. Artists painted her. Children wrote letters asking how to be brave like her. She answered everyone. Even though Luke teased her for spending hours hunched over paper with a dictionary beside her. She and Torin had been granted provisional Earth citizenship. Not full rights yet, but enough to walk in daylight without fear. They lived in a small house on the edge of Boulder, Colorado. Not far from Luke's old observatory. Lily painted the walls with murals of stars and forests. Dr. Evans visited every Sunday with fresh bread and bad jokes. Kira still trained, but now she taught too. A quiet program, approved by the United Council, where she showed peacekeepers how to de-escalate, how to read body language, how to protect without violence. She called it the Fox Method, after the wounded animal that started it all. One morning, a package arrived. No return address. Just her name written in careful script. Inside was a small data crystal and a note, for the one who remembers. Torin examined the crystal. "It's Xanthari." Old encryption. Military grade, they played it in private. The screen flickered to life. A face appeared, gaunt, weary, but familiar. Commander Vile, once head of the Silent Blade Division. Kira's former superior. "Kira," he said, voice rough. "If you are seeing this, I am already dead. The Empire found out I helped rebels, but before they took me, I sent this. There is a ship. Hidden in the asteroid belt near Ceres. It holds records, every operation, every lie, every stolen world. It is the Empire's shame, and now it is your weapon. The coordinates are embedded. Use it well, and Kira, thank you for showing me that loyalty should be to life, not to power." The screen went dark. Kira sat very still. Torin placed a hand on her shoulder. "What do we do?" "We go," she said. Luke agreed without hesitation. "I'll modify the observatory's deep space array. We can verify the coordinates and send a retrieval team." But Kira shook her head. "No team, just us. The fewer who know, the safer it is." So they prepared in secret. Luke retrofitted a small research shuttle with stealth shielding. Torin built a decoder strong enough to unlock the ship's core. Lily packed supplies and tucked a small painting into Kira's bag, a silver hand holding a human one under a shared sky. The journey to Ceres took 6 days. Space was silent, vast, humbling. Kira spent hours staring out the viewport, remembering the cold emptiness she once called home. Now even the void felt different, less lonely. They found the ship exactly where Vale said it would be, docked in the shadow of a massive asteroid, its hull dark, its systems in sleep mode. It was a scout vessel, old but intact. Boarding was tense. Every corridor echoed with ghosts. Kira half expected to see her old squad waiting in the mess hall, laughing over rations, but the ship was empty. Just dust, silence, and data. In the core chamber, Torin jacked into the main terminal. Files poured onto the screen, thousands of them. Mining reports from Earth, Mars, Europa. Prisoner logs. Execution orders. And something worse, plans for a final solution. If rebellion spread, The Empire would trigger seismic charges buried deep in Earth's crust. Not to conquer, to cleanse. Kira's blood ran cold. They would kill billions. Not if we stopped them, Luke said. They copied everything onto hardened drives. As they worked, an alarm blared. Red lights flashed. Someone triggered a remote ping, Torrin said. They know we're here. How long? Kira asked. Minutes, Luke said, already moving toward the shuttle. They ran. Behind them, the ship's self-destruct sequence activated, Bael's last safeguard. They barely cleared the blast radius. The shockwave rocked the shuttle, but Luke held steady, hands firm on the controls. Back on Earth, they delivered the data to the United Council. This time, there was no debate. No hesitation. The world united like never before. Defense grids powered up, early warning systems linked globally. Scientists worked with Xanthari defectors to locate and disarm the seismic charges. Kira became a bridge, not just between species, but between fear and trust. She stood beside generals and school teachers, diplomats and farmers. She spoke not as a warrior, but as a witness. One evening after a long day of meetings, she walked alone through a city park. Children played on swings. Couples strolled hand in hand. An old man fed pigeons, smiling as they fluttered around his feet. A little girl ran up to her, stopped and stared. "Are you the alien lady?" Kira knelt. "I am. My teacher said you saved the world." "No," Kira said gently. "People saved the world. I just helped them see they could." The girl grinned. "Can I hug you?" Kira hesitated, then opened her arms. The child hugged her tight, then ran back to her mother, waving. Kira stood, touched her chest where warmth lingered. Later, at home, Luke found her on the porch. "You okay?" "I am learning something new every day," she said. "Like what?" "That home is not a place," she said. "It is a feeling. And I feel it here." Torrin joined them, holding 3 mugs of tea. "The Council wants us to lead a new initiative. A joint Humans and Xanthari Peace Corps. Help other worlds the Empire hurt." Kira looked at her brother, then at Luke. "Yes," she said. "But not as soldiers. As healers." Months turned into a year. The Peace Corps launched quietly, sending small teams to scarred planets with seeds, medicine, and stories of Earth's choice. Kira went on the first mission, to a desert world where the Empire had drained the oceans. She helped dig wells, taught children to draw, listened to elders sing songs of what was lost. She returned thinner, tired but radiant. Back in Boulder, Lily threw a welcome home party. Neighbors came, friends, even a few former Black Star soldiers now working with the peacekeepers seeking forgiveness. Kira spoke to each one, not with judgment but with quiet understanding. That night, as fireflies blinked in the garden, Luke took her hand. "You've given so much," he said. "What do you want for yourself?" She looked at him, really looked. At the lines around his eyes from years of worry and laughter. At the way he always made sure her tea was just warm enough. At the steady, quiet love he never demanded, only offered. "I want to stay," she said. "With you. With all of you. Not as a hero. Just as Kira," he smiled. "Just Kira is more than enough." Seasons changed. Snow fell, melted, returned. Kira and Luke built a greenhouse where they grew vegetables and strange silver flowers Torrin brought from a reclaimed Xanthari garden. Lily's paintings hung in galleries now, but her favorite still stayed on their kitchen wall. The one of the fox. The fire and 2 figures learning to trust. One spring morning, Kira stood in the greenhouse, hands in the soil. Luke watched from the doorway. "You look happy," he said. "I am," she said. "Not because the war is over. It may never be, but because I know what matters. Kindness. Connection. Choosing each other. Every day." He walked over and kissed her forehead. "You taught me that too." Outside, the world kept turning. Dangers remained. Empires fell slowly. But in this small corner of Earth, something rare bloomed. Not because of weapons or power, but because one alien chose to believe in a human's kindness, and that small spark grew into a light strong enough to guide others home. Kira had come to end a life. Instead, she helped build a future. And in the quiet hum of the greenhouse, with dirt under her nails and love in her heart, she knew she was exactly where she was meant to be.